Wait, are they gonna have like the names? Okay, cool. Singapore. Singapore has Paper Cup, chat. So I don't know. I'm kind of rooting for Paper Cup.
You're not in that jail. I'm not in That's true. That's actually completely true. Let's roll straight out. Let's roll straight out onto the game. And going to be seeing I think, very standard Lucian Morage Ramacho coming through from Singapore.
See, this is what I really like about this, chat. There's no mirror matchups. Both comps are fucking different. What a great fucking wall.
It's going to make the difference.
It's going to say a little bit dead on this.
What a
fucking
fucking
wall. There and just not able to slip his way back to safety in the same way that Numenaz was. That gives Singapore a bit of an early advantage on the point.
Holy shit, that was an insane wall. Hama, appreciate the massive prime tier 1 sub as well.
Any sort of changes here. I think the Reaper's a little bit more congruent with where the current meta is. The Sombra is going to give you a little bit of that extra dive factor as well. Yeah, Junk Queen did get nerfed on this patch, so maybe a little bit more difficult to play. You have to imagine that Singapore should do well with the Ramacho, but Ash Kane in a little bit of trouble early on.
Yeah, really feeling the
they're going to C9. Are you kidding me? Wow, uh-oh.
Follow it up. Jay3 getting around the side to collect that tank kill, and now Singapore a little bit headless, getting the kill return on the Reaper. Does keep them in the fight, but with the point belonging to Malaysia and the extra kills coming through, that's gonna
wait, what happened? That was a really good, like, the Malaysia had a really good, like, hero swaps and fucking took the next fight, but what's Singapore doing?
Also the EMP coming on from Jay3, and for Malaysia, nice quick comeback after changing a
Jay3, what a fucking name, dude.
Next fight being mostly a coalescence trade, and I'd like to see if Jay3 can get a bit of a setup here, because you can cancel that call with the EMP, and that would be pretty bad for Payload.
Certainly an opportunity represented.
You had EMP already in one fight?
It doesn't really matter, just wants to pop it in straight away, not looking to cancel. They just get an early kill onto Ash Kane. Makes this a pretty lean fight in terms of ultimate usage from Malaysia here. Finding Vips as well. Forced retreat from Singapore. Starting to pull comfortably ahead on percentage and on ultimates now.
A cheap way to get through that fight as well. Just EMP alone ends up coming through, destroys Ash Kane. No response from Singapore. Way too quick on that kill to Ash Kane.
Is Mora good in your opinion? Yeah, Mora has a lot of healing. She actually has a lot of fucking healing, and she has great survivability.
Still plenty to play through here as well. Double support ultimates online for both teams.
It's going to be
Ash Kane went for the annihilation.
Oh, Cup going down early. That means no sound barrier for Singapore. Malaysia have that advantage, and they lean on it. They haven't actually collected any other kills just yet. Vip's getting low, but able to pop the blizzard and go cold about it. Fantasy down, and Game Pro, dude. That's a 2-for-1 trade for Singapore, and that's an important point to capture now. Rounding the bend.
I don't like what Singapore's doing right now, though. They look messy. Do you guys see them fighting? They're doing a brawl comp. You're supposed to like go into someone, wall them off, and have everyone beat the shit out of that one person. But they're messing up on their walls, and they're all aiming at different targets. They're not focusing.
After what, there's like 3 fights now, 2 fight wins realistically, 2 fight losses for Malaysia. Like pretty decent distance. Singapore did have to really spend for this, and for Malaysia, you can cycle straight back into EMP here. Cup is the only factor to consider, the only thing that can really hold up. And the EMP does come through.
Yeah, gonna have to time that right with that sound barrier. It's actually going to be Game Pro going in first. That's already a quick pickup. 2 members of Singapore eating the dust there. The sound barrier not enough to rescue them. Death Blossom out from Vital, not pulling enough weight, unfortunately. And it's going to be Malaysia getting the point back under their control. 90% already. Singapore, they might try and stall this one out, but they're not going to get a proper fight in.
Well, they can get a couple members.
They won the fight, chat.
Because it's only 10% away.
What matters?
If Singapore move quickly, they can just. Ash King got hacked though. That could be a bit of a problem, and isn't currently able to roll on top of the point.
Yeah, Vital barely got the touch on there with the Wraith form, and immediately pays for it with his life. The rest of Singapore trying to muster up the manpower to
Yo,
get
what is this camera?
Gonna go down. Vips is there with him with Paper at his back, but Paper looking to get cut off behind him with these DPSs getting deep onto the support line. Cup under a similar amount of pressure. It's going to be Vips down now. Cup dusted off, and Paper soon to follow. That'll be Malaysia.
Wait a minute, I thought you guys said New Zealand didn't like each other. You guys are telling me it was Singapore all along that doesn't like each other?
Malaysia, especially the final one there, already had 90%.
Bro, even if you guys, even if a team has differences, they have to put their differences aside. You guys are a fucking team, bro. You're as strong as your fucking weakest link, and if all of you guys are just gonna fucking argue and like be the weakest link, your team's gonna be fucking dog shit.
Fantasy, the extra rampage have to be considered not falling off the map, but the extra ISIL actually blocks him enough that he only needs to catch Ash Kane or a couple members, and with that down, 10% to cap. Singapore, not a great composition to touch. They're not playing a dive.
I think Singapore canned everyone who was there to try and then replaced it with a meme team.
That'll be a difficult round. Good start for Singapore in terms of opening neutral, but they couldn't hold on afterwards.
We'll have to see how well they pull it off this time. Vital starting off on the Reaper this time.
As someone from Singapore, I have no faith.
And just taking their time.
I like how you're supposed to cheer your own country on. You're just like, nah, bro.
Again, notably, start on the Cassidy for the neutral last time. Not particularly the right choice, given you're not countering any dive there. Also, different rollout strategies here. Singapore going and prioritizing the Mega Pack, trying to take the one away from J003.
Yeah, we're sort of hanging around their backside, tried to go for a manual hack on Vital, who did get low, but they weren't able to confirm, and then Malaysia just sort of a little bit pincered in. Singapore looking pretty comfortable now, collecting another, and this should be the first point going their way as well. So once again, performing nicely in the neutral fight.
I'm a little surprised that, you know, Malaysia didn't opt for the coast side rollout as well. I mean, fighting for the Mega Pack should be very important, given that you are running a Sombra and a late to the party there. On one Singapore is set up. Some decent long-range burst
Wait,
damage,
what? Bro, VIP's been grinding Rainbow Six. What is he doing here? Nah, bro. Singapore is gonna fucking take the L, dude.
Yeah, it's already a devastating start here. So Singapore looking to convert another one. It's Malaysia in full retreat, losing a couple on the way out. Game Pro Duke going to go down. Gemini and Numenals look like they've made it to safety. And J003 actually switching off the Sombra now, not getting the mileage out of it.
I think May is really important for some of these neutral battles. The Sombra is also fine, but they're really far behind now, and J003 didn't really have enough ult charge. You needed a little bit quicker charge on the EMP, and you remember Lighthouse, he basically had the EMP by that second fight. This time, not so much. Coalescence is though available.
Yeah, Vital was super low there. That coalescence was, you know, necessary, but I think it was also partially pulled out just because Vital was so low. First little ticket that was used to top him off, but that has meant Singapore are able to hold Malaysia quite far forward. That being said, no casualties means Malaysia have an opportunity to bounce back in. Now Vital going in. Oh, and follows it up.
Holy
very
shit.
quickly.
Okay, Vital. Okay. Sorry, bro. The main team with the real players had a lot of drama and issues, so they replaced most players like 2 weeks ago, and that's why they look like they're not playing good together. 2 weeks is a long time, though.
But effective enough that Singapore can definitely get the 90 here.
To like practice with each other.
The next fight is on. Malaysia are running out of options. They don't have a lot.
Shit, 30 seconds is a long time.
Countered by the sound barrier as well. Really, how can I have to depend on? I was going to say someone like Game Pro to find that backline Death Blossom with him down as well. Malaysia, can they even afford to quickly reset?
Yeah, getting.
Wait a minute, never mind. Maybe I shouldn't have like talked. Singapore's looking really strong right now. They're about to fucking 100-0, and they're in their fucking spawn. Holy shit. Okay. Chat, maybe we're just talking shit for no reason. Singapore just fucking clapped their ass. It's 1-1.
Yeah, really quick, really profoundly one-sided as well. Now you have what was looking like a little bit more of a struggling Singapore in round one, coming through much stronger round two. I think, again, a better rollout. They had their comp figured out. So once again, Malaysia that has to juggle their composition a little bit more. What are we trying to play here? What do we really want to do here? And this is also a situation where, I don't know.
Someone eating something right now? Do you hear the wrapper being opened? You guys hear that, right?
These control maps. They're going to go back over towards the May. They're really interested in fighting for that early May wall battle. You actually see and thinking a lot of now live patch comps. If you're running the Lucio Mora, you even just forego the May in general for something like a Sojourn, a little bit more active on the map.
You hear him eating? You hear him eating during the middle of the cast?
I don't blame him.
This man's like this. This man's like this. Okay, chat. Okay, the first fight's coming up.
Malaysia getting the health pack room early though.
Okay. They're taking the first fight.
Singapore either in or out of it, depending on how things proceed. And there we go, trying to get the guy slayed onto Ash Kane. The rest of the team, though, following around to back him up. Haven't been able to get the damage onto Ash Kane. Numenal's getting a little bit low. Malaysia pulled back to the health pack. Singapore, though, wrapping around. They actually want to start getting boots on the point.
I should be a caster. Okay, chat, the May died.
Can't quite make it through. In the gap in the wall. It's going to be the fight before as soon as the cap opens. I mean, Malaysia will steal away from the cap, but not for long.
Yeah, Game Pro Dude going down. Fantasy looking to follow, and that's going to be Singapore, as you say, stealing that point straight back off Malaysia.
Now early ultimates online for Singapore going to next round here. Typically, you
Yo, Singapore looks like they woke up though, chat. No, I'm not even fucking like. We were shit talking them and saying they look lost together. Now it looks like they're really strong. Maybe they put their differences aside.
A lot of sense, unfortunately. Malaysia are going to be probably finding it quite hard to buy themselves back into this fight once Singapore start rotating ultimates.
Whew, trying to get an isolate again onto Ash Kane. Does not work out. You're not locked in here with me. Oh, other way around. You know how the saying goes. At any rate, that's a 3 for none. Well, 3 for 1 just now for Singapore. So again,
dude,
pulling ahead.
Singapore, dude.
Starting to look a little bit more like ruins than Lighthouse.
I told you guys, I have 100% fucking accuracy when predicting games. I said Singapore was going to win.
We'll be rotating to more ultimates. Malaysia still lagging behind.
I seen the script before this started.
Everything that they can use.
I know who wins the. I know who wins the World Cup.
The only thing that Malaysia
Korea's winning. Flip it.
Which did actually buy them
Flip it right now. Korea's winning.
Over 60 by now. That's not a bad catch on the rampage.
Yeah.
The sound barrier.
Going straight in for it with the coalescence at the back. Now sound barrier to follow up. Malaysia actually looking okay here. Ash Kane still to pop his ultimate. Does just go for it now. And immediate conversion. Picking up both DPSs. Malaysia worse for wear once again. Singapore. They had to dig a little bit deeper. Even then, they still win the fight, and they can rotate through to some new ultimates again.
So this is Malaysia's opportunity now. They're finally coming on board for some important ultimates. Dragon Blade, I don't think will really count for too much here. A lot of mobility on Singapore. Vital should be the target if you are JW3.
Singapore's kicking ass.
Immensely important. How do you walk on top of the point? You're still playing the jungle queen. You still don't have shielding. You're still going to eat a lot of poke damage. Dragon Strike's instantly going to go through main. Most of the players have dodged that.
Yeah, they were already around the side. The Vortex not slowing enough members in, and J003 has found Vital with that blade. Trying to get on top of Ash Kane, not your ideal target there, so that's a 1 for 1 of the DPSs, but with Vips down and paper as well. Malaysia really leveraging this one for all it's worth into the overtime now, but they've collected up enough members cup to go down.
This is going to be
Malaysia.
good.
They get another shot.
Malaysia has Reaper Blossom,
not quite going to be as
and Singapore doesn't have Beat. Or any other ult for that matter.
By Malaysia to be able to work their way around
Game Pro dude just needs to hide, get a fat fucking, get a fat ult.
Gets that, and it's realistically the only person that you need to get at a minimum, I would say. Beyond that, it's a bonus. Or so Malaysia will be able to clean up and, importantly, not having to use the Death Blossom as well. So they need that to be able to try and snowball this one further forward. And again, because they had that only 15%. At least a little bit more to work.
Where's the Reaper at?
Jackson wall down first. We've got the Coalescence running paper. Really in trouble. Cup ends up being the first to go down as Malaysia. Nice conversion off the Death Blossom. Softened the members up. Forced them to scatter out, and they weren't in line of sight of their healers. Paper so low there. Malaysia keeping control of the point for now.
Rotating into Rampage and Coalescence. Starting to look a little bit better for Malaysia.
Okay, chat.
This could get a little...
I think what's going to be the biggest difference here is the beats. Both Lucios are basically at the same percentage. Both tanks are going to come up with their ult.
Efficiently enough in the last couple of fights.
VIPs though, Vips, whatever you say his name, as male. What a block on the ult though, holy shit!
Rampage though still able to connect through. Game Pro dude down though. Ash Kane starting to pop in with the ultimate. Vital there at his back.
Did you guys see that block with the fucking May wall?
A little bit even on percentage
on the
Malaysia, not even in terms of members, few more getting dusted off at the end by the Ramatra, and that's going to be Singapore back in control. 99% Malaysia will try and stagger onto the point, but Singapore playing gatekeeper. It doesn't look like Malaysia are going to get boots on it, so Singapore walk away with Elios.
A fucking May wall, bro. What a that May wall saved them the fucking map right there.
The thing in my eye is on is the fact that this was Malaysia's map.
That one's Tuesday, right?
They're comfortable. Xenofly taking some heat. That's already the immortality field down, but unfortunately, J003 getting sniped out by Vips means there isn't the same amount of DPS pressure. I think they might have even been able to dust off Xenofly if there had been. So a little bit of a slowdown for Malaysia. While
every time I've seen a Sojourn in these games, chat, they don't do well. So let's see what Vital can do here.
Again, it'll be interesting to see what kind of distances JW3 can really play. I think this initial lane is going to be fine. Will suffice. Rip's taking a little bit of punishment from Fantasy from above. No one really close to ultimates here. You'd like to see the bat plays a little bit further up. Gemini X is really far behind.
Damn, okay, J003.
Back out into the open where J003 is able to collect the body shot. That should open things up. Takes a lot of sniper pressure off now. Immortality field expired as well.
Okay, J003.
Now Vital looking to go down, and this is what Malaysia were fishing for. Just pressuring forward.
Listen, 2 body shots, but those are 2 kills, chat. The only people who complain about body shots are the ones that are dead.
You'll take Vips instead.
A kill's a kill, bro. Doesn't matter if you shoot them in the head, doesn't matter if you shoot them in the dick or the toes, bro. Kill's a kill.
On a recontested, Xenofly walks up, has been scouted by the Sonic, but that's fine. And Cup will be the first one to find ultimate on the board. High ground window. Is there enough players in the sight lines? Doesn't really look like it.
Yeah, they've just kind of vanished, all hiding in the nearby shops. And I mean, who can blame them? There's a lot of high quality produce there. It's more sort of upmarket fashion, I guess.
Oh, he dodged the rock too. Huge.
In the immortality field.
Oh, huge dragon too.
The dragon strike. It's Malaysia.
Oh my fucking god.
Very nicely done.
And they only sort of slowed down so far. It's the very early beginnings when they were pushing. They lose Jay3, and on that they've been pushing through very steadily. Despite the fact that Cup had the earlier amplification matrix, Gemini is still trailing behind, which is a little bit odd. You don't expect that the Zen player would be able to get the first amplification matrix. Gemini ultimate.
Oh.
Fantasy having that.
What's up,
extra
Waleed?
flux coming through. There's going to be plenty.
W players, they learned from me, not gonna lie. I don't think they learned from 4.1k players, bro. Relax.
Goes for it now. Gemini's actually just popped the window down. That didn't really catch a whole lot of Malaysia.
I think he lost the ultimate.
I think maybe he got, must have got cancelled there. At any rate, no immortality field available anymore, but still a nice catch on the game pro.
Wait, they dropped the Sojourn and went Widow?
Advantage here anyway. Numenors having to pop. Transcendence, they're still pressuring forward. They might as well, even though they're one man down. Now Jay3 gonna pop Visor and for sight rather, and doesn't deliver a whole lot here, but they've got their Hanzo back in the mix now. Vip's thrown out his Dragon Strike. Speaking of Hanzo's fantasy in the immortality field, getting healed up comfortably. It's just pressuring back and forth. Numenors is the one to go, and that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back here for Malaysia, starting to get pressured back in earnest now.
Dude, play-by-play casting, like that guy just did, is fucking insanely hard, dude.
Cup might use this one early, and that will be a precedent for NSC to pull the trigger as well.
That shit is so fucking insane. Also, I think this is the first mirror matchup that we've seen today, so far, I guess, but it's the first game.
From Singapore, it's just more slowdown in Malaysia.
That's really unfortunate, and Paper being the one to collect that. I mean, obviously, Vip's doing the bulk of the damage on it, but either way, it's time bleeding off the clock here. Came in with about 4 minutes 40, if I'm not mistaken, or 3 minutes 40. So already losing a chunk, and now even more as Jay3 loses the sniper battle.
Yep. 3 picks in a row. 3 individual kills. Each one will cost you 10 seconds. Malaysia losing opportunity to build ground here as the payload slowly slips backwards.
Oh, he's using the glitch Widow spot. No, not really a glitch, but... Damn, okay, Vital. Okay, Vital.
Oh, 4 in a row. Vital really feeling himself, and I mean, they're just going to go for it anyway. They don't want to lose the window too much. Going to be immortality field down to rescue Xeno.
Okay, Vital, bro.
Get rid of it, though,
Vital's fucking popping.
3 in a row over the course of this fight. That's a bit of a shame. Fantasy's Flux not really coming so much. They find a kill off Vital, trying to stay in, trying to scrap it out a little bit. Jay3 is going to come
Dude,
back.
Vital is popping. I guess you could say he's vital to the team.
With that Dragon Strike, may still try to look for something while Vital's still not here. Coming back on his own Tracer will be Vital. Cup holding on to the window. Gemini's got one of his own. Who's going to deploy first? Jay3 goes down. Xenofly's been getting pressured back, but hasn't gone down. Vip's finally picked. It's such a messy back and forth, but it's just burning time for Malaysia, and now they finally lose the protracted engagement.
Bro, that sucks for Malaysia, bro. Malaysia had the first point so fast. Wait, no, who is it? Yeah, Malaysia had the first point so fucking fast, but now they're getting fucking hard stomped right now, man.
He has an opportunity to go back over towards the water if he would like to. Now fairly committed on the Tracers. A little hard for the Tracer on the attack. You know, you don't really favor the Tracer on the attack here at all.
Yeah.
At least on the defense, you can sort of just
wait. He got. Oh, he's just matching Jay3.
Go now. What was a really quick attack on A?
Tracer, the Widow.
Pretty even Stevens coming into this fight, though. Fantasy will have a Flux well before Xenofly, assuming he doesn't go down.
I don't think this.
We'll have to see if they leave instead. It's been Dragon Strikes now either way. Numenors feeling a bit of heat from that one. Fantasy low as well in that immortality field. Gonna have to get themselves topped off. Cup still holding on to his immortality field for the time being. Has to deploy it now. It's gonna be Transcendence from Numenors. Trying to push forward, trying to find enough damage to get Fantasy's Flux online, and here it is. Can they get something done with it? They are running out of time. 25 seconds on the clock. Pulse bomb for Jay3, but a little bit worse for Ware. Needs to be careful about how he deploys it. Vital trying to get up on the back line. They're able to find Game Pro Dude. That Transcendence not delivering much. That Flux not delivering much either. Xenofly about to have his up. It's Numenors for Vital. Pulse bomb.
Okay. They need to win this fight. They need to win this fight. I think they are. It's a 3v3 right now. It's even. Both supports in the tank. Oh my god, he got launched over.
Real scrap now on this cart. Malaysia barely in control of it. They dust off paper, and that could pressure Singapore just enough if they can find one more. If they can find J003 or Cup, that will seal this point for Malaysia in the overtime.
The Flyers about to have ultimate though, and they have the player advantage coming, or not quite, but they have at least a spawn advantage coming.
Oh, he got stunned!
That's already one down.
Holy shit!
That's not a great start. The Flux not coming to much, but Xenofly is down. No immortality fields. It's all cards on the table. Cup and Bip's going to be dusted off as J003 comes into his zone of the tracer pick. Only a minute and a half left on the clock, but Malaysia will secure B.
Xenofly just can't catch a break here, can't land an ultimate fantasy, rocking him almost every single time.
What a fucking rock, bro. They were able to cap second point.
Hold out. They had the respawn advantage, they had ultimates coming online, but they need to be able to execute on all of those. I'm going to get towards C. Malaysia, after spending all of their time on B, the extra time they found on A, entirely the 2 minutes 30 bonus they got on B.
It does look like the chat. Is it me or the spectators look like they are on ping, or someone? It looks like they're on ping. Everything looks delayed by like a second.
Having to stop to come back in. Losing the long-range pick potential.
Oh, huge pick, Numenos. Oh, no Transcendence, and the whole thing unravels for Malaysia. That's so unfortunate. They were coming in with a potential massive advantage there. Transcendence, set up a Flux. All Singapore really had to work with at the top of that was Vital's Pulse Bomb. They didn't even need Dan in the end. What a massive find.
Well, I think any kill would have been fine there. Getting the backline is always important. Transcendence would have been used defensively in that fight, so I don't think an offensive tool, but any play down.
Production is fully in America, but the servers are in Asia. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Damn, production is in America? Fucking, they're working right now at 2 a.m.?
Payload's still not a
Fuck.
3 caught in the Flux, decent stuff.
What a fucking Flux, bro, by Fantasy. Jesus Christ.
The pulse bomb taking out the immortality field.
What a fucking play, dude.
Flux suddenly landed back down, expecting to be immune, and they weren't. Malaysia back in control, but back in overtime too.
Zen is such a bad pick here. How's Zen a bad pick? He has Transcendence. It's not like he's going to switch for the last fight when he has ult. Plus, he has Discord Orb. Discord Orb is a lot of damage. Wait, he died with Transcendence! Died with Transcendence! What are you doing? They died with 2 supports!
There was no healing to bail him out of that tracer on the back line. Well, 385 is going to be as far as it gets for Malaysia. Not quite a cap.
Bro! You have Transcendence! You have Window! What are you doing?
Gemini didn't have the lamp cooldown available to go, so might give him a pass on that one, but my goodness, didn't use Transcendence as you start dying. That is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Now, possibly Malaysia still lose 4v5, but man, Malaysia didn't even give themselves the opportunity to come back on that final fight. They had some good inroads. I mean, they struggled on B. Again, lost all their time on B, still capped it out in a clutch. Still got some reasonable distance on C. I mean, that was a really clean fight from Fantasy a little bit earlier on. Flux onto 3, collects onto 2 kills. Payload finally rounds the bend onto the final straight, and they get pretty much to the end, but just no final fight.
And by the way, we say no margin for error here with this first to 2 format because Malaysia didn't cap. If Singapore end this map, that's it. They've got the win secured. That's a really dangerous situation for Malaysia to be
He's
in
holding Transcendence for Overwatch 3. He's saving it for the Overwatch PvE. Don't worry, chat. It's almost here, lol.
Start with Vital on the Widowmaker, who had a real whale of a time, I think, on that defense, especially on B. It's going to get a little bit more difficult for Malaysia. Okay, we're not really looking forward towards too much Widowmaker gameplay on C, but A and B is going to be Widow dominated. J003 didn't really have much to say in that conversation last time around. You could argue that maybe the offensive Widowmaker is going to be in a more difficult position, and probably that's going to be the case. Vital wasn't just a Widowmaker battle. He was taking down everybody.
Paper bailing out of the Life Weaver.
Hit him with a fucking Mega Ring, yo. Take some of that
Threatening
money,
it.
bro. Show me them cities.
It's going to be Kariko.
Rico's an interesting choice. This is not normal. You like the Discord, you like the long-range damage, you're a little bit more front-loaded.
I'm gonna get to all the subs and resubs like after the games, chat, like in between the games. I appreciate it though.
So I'm
not ignoring you guys, trust.
Ultimately, most likely be the wrong choice here in terms of raw value over what is in. Likely be.
Really, this is going to come down to who gets that opening sniper pick. Fantasy feeling some heat, but comfortably tucked off as Xenofly is really trying to make the space, and Malaysia backing up quite a lot. Ooh, Cup gets low. Will survive.
As the Xenofly.
Oh, Vips gets the first pick. That's big for
Oh, it's
Singapore. who had
Vips.
already
I thought it was
got a lot
VIPs.
of, not free push, but certainly not stalled up as much as you might expect to be on that early bridge. But Vips now down in the trade. Vital low, Xenofly low. Gonna have to back away a little bit from that cart. No more immortality field. Vital does get picked by J003. Xenofly in trouble, will get dropped and might look to collect a couple more here. Cup gonna go down. Paper has been able to get out, but that is the stoppage that Malaysia were looking for.
A good recovery. Lost a play early.
Aren't they supposed to have like stock?
Frontline
Aren't they supposed to be using the stock crosshairs? Why is this one not the stock?
Completely gapped Xenofly in this matchup.
This is customized.
Either attacking side.
Just noticed that.
Gigantic. I mean, you don't expect that the Flux is going to be the first ultimate. Again, I always look towards the bat players here.
Yeah.
It's got to be neither of them so far.
Look,
Really feeling
it's
it
one
right
of the
now.
casters are on their actual accounts, bro.
Paper not delivering a whole lot there. Immortality field down, but that means it's not being used on Xenofly, who's still having to take the forward.
Some of the observers play on the accounts they use. Really,
Yeah,
I never knew
It
that.
was so early as well.
And Xenofly's down. There it is. So quick the conversion of damage.
Wait,
But
Vital.
Victory,
Wait,
whoa!
Vital.
All right, Vital just turns it back on a dime like that. J003 afraid to peek and knows that he's got infrastructure on him. Fantasy going down as well, and Singapore just tear forward.
There was a top 500 player named OBS Winston. Oh my god, wait, I've seen that guy before.
Singapore got a lot more out of Cups.
I thought it was OBS Winston because he probably streams on and he uses OBS. I never thought that was an actual fucking like. That's crazy.
Typically, even if you do get first Flux, I would like to see teams hold it to potentially counter out the amplification matrices being traded in there. I mean, Xenofly didn't even have a Flux, so that would have been purely in Malaysia's favor.
Just continuing the forward push. Malaysia once again just looking for some stoppage. Remember how long it took them to cap B, ended up getting it in the overtime, and this was around about where they got stalled up. So now, what can they accomplish? They pick Paper.
That's a good dragon. Separates the tank from his team, but they don't get the kill. Feels bad, man.
Enough damage and to create any casualties. Card's still pushing forward. Malaysia do give a lot of ground, even with the man advantage. Game Pro dude having to duck for cover for a hot second there, but with the extra kill on Vital, they can take the ground. They can reclaim the card.
This is where the holdup was when we were flipped on sides and Singapore was defending. So where Vital really started to show up and get a ton of picks. So Malaysia now need to find the same slowdown. There's a lot less time for Singapore on the attack than Malaysia were able to snowball through after they capped A, but taking down Jay is going to be bad for Malaysia to start off with.
Yeah, of all people to find him. And now Malaysia just one man down. Flux up on the two members there. They haven't used the Dragon Strike. They get Paper with it. It's decent. No immortality field left for them, but Numenor still has a Transcendence. May want to pop that before too long. They're still under a lot of pressure. Xenofly, low but not down, ends up having to use their immortality field to save the tank. Fantasy goes in with a Flux, and they convert Xenofly. That's another important defense for Malaysia. They're able to stop the momentum once again.
Yep, Xenofly down, no comeback from
If this guy
you'd have to have Fantasy
doesn't use his Transcendence again, I'm gonna scream.
Almost support ultimates online here. At least when you are playing the Kariko.
This might sound stupid. Can Overwatch League players play in this? Yes. Overwatch League players can represent if they want their own country. Yes.
From Fantasy to stop that as well. It's going to have to come down to Transcendence, fighting up against a Katuna Rush, and a swap onto the Diva.
Wait, now they're using their default crosshairs. Wait a minute. Is it because we pointed it out?
The question will be, is this a better hero to take advantage of the Katuna Rush? Because that's the real win.
Wait, is it because we pointed it out?
Xenofly having it back right up. No immortality field already for Singapore. Minute and a half is still enough time to push this over the line. Again, remember, Malaysia only capped in overtime. So if they can do better than that, Singapore have an advantage on that point C.
You start ulting. Here we go. This is the rush we've been waiting for. In goes Xenofly.
Directly on Transcendence is there, but Game Pro do get sniped out anyway. A little bit unfortunate for Malaysia. They were banking on that Dragon Strike or even just the straight damage output. And look at how hard they've corralled Malaysia back around the corner. Fantasy trying to push back forward. They've got Game Pro dude back in the mix. They have to defend this payload. It's a crunch moment. Dragon Strike.
If they kill the tank, they win this.
Splits the team up.
Kill the tank, they win this. He's not even in the immortality. Oh my. Yeah, there you go. Yep, W.
With his life, no one else able to really contest the
I don't know. This is looking like an easy game for Singapore, bro. I think Singapore is going to be 2-0 them, and we're going to have to go to the next match.
And now losing extra
like I said, chat, I know the script. I called this whole thing.
But certainly enough to cap the map out and win their first series.
I mean, Malaysia, they had a good opportunity there. They backed out. They avoided the Katuna Rush. Still had 4 alive with good respawns coming on. Losing Fantasy very quickly afterwards as they change their comp wholesale.
Oh, I thought this guy
They
DC'd.
keep the Hanzo, but everything else is going to go over towards a Winston and a dive for our final point. So what they're going to lock themselves on. Going to reset every single ultimate they have on paper as well. Singapore, eventually Vital will have to get off this window, but we'll see if that ends up happening.
Dragon Strike across from GamePro. Dude, first up the side. Vips gets him with the arrows going rapid fire. Maybe wanted to make a swap there anyway.
Vips and Vital are really good DPS players.
A little bit more free push for Singapore. It's starting to get to the
They're doing really well.
Situation for Malaysia. Oh, and they lose Jay.
Wait,
Okay, well, Vital still fragging out.
They lost me?
Really to protect the backline of Malaysia, so Vital can freely play these sight lines and these angles. Could be under pressure from GamePro Do as you see the invis on the back and the kill from GamePro Do onto Vital.
Very important find. That's going to give Singapore pause, and that's so critical with how close they're getting. And Malaysia have given up a lot of cart push when they've been on this defense. Self-destruct, barreling forward. The team having to duck for cover. They will be able to survive it. Jay timing a recall very nicely there. Has himself a pulse bomb as well. Fishing for something. Minute remaining now. Jay goes down. Vips once again finding one.
Yo, this Jay guy's feeding.
Dragon Strike that's going directly through
maybe it is me.
Luminols and Gemini, who are barely surviving, but it's going to be a nano boost onto Fantasy. Barreling forward, finds paper, pressuring on Vips as well. Now has the Primal Rage, keeping that DPS under lockdown, keeping everyone away from the cart. 30 seconds on the clock. DMAC on Xenofly. Corner trap on Vital. He gets
oh
run down,
shit, chat. 30 seconds left, bro. Malaysia is gonna have EMP, Pulse, and Rally. Singapore has no fucking ults, bro. I think we might go to a map fucking 3. Last fight.
In the dying breaths, not too sure about that one. You would have liked to have held on to that for the final fight.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. If you're looking at this on paper, there's no way Malaysia loses this fucking team fight, right? They have EMP, Pulse, Rally.
And they've only got 4 seconds left. GamePro Dude has been spotted, but that does not matter. Going to go straight on top of the team with this EMP here, waiting for his opportunity. Cloaking to get past Vips. Straight on top, deployed very nicely.
Oh my god, that was fucking huge, bro.
Malaysia, ironclad.
That was a huge one by GamePro Dude.
From GamePro Dude, and a brilliant follow-up as well. You've really got to credit them where it's due. That was a sudden death defense for Malaysia, and they're going to clear it through. We are going to tie ourselves up.
What a fucking... Yeah.
Malaysia coming back strong.
I can relate to this climate right now. I mean, it's not snowy here, but it is cold. We had a rainy, wet summer, and we're having a cold winter, and I don't know what to do with myself. Malaysia, I hope they do know what to do with themselves. First scrap just on this.
I think we've seen this before.
Beautiful
Singapore won this matchup on KOF. They were running a Reaper instead of a Hanzo.
Well. Though in all fairness, they did put a maple leaf on their flag, so it's...
Yeah, fair enough. They called for it. They asked for it. So here we go. As shout out to Karku who's watching this, I know. As first fight.
Damn, Karku got a fucking shout out. What?
Walls are finally coming up after a minute.
First shout from Fantasy as well to push everyone forward, but this GamePro Dude a little bit overextended maybe. Feeling the heat, has to back away. Gemini speeding the team to safety as they rotate around. So first little push there from Malaysia, not quite working out. Now Singapore back to poking and wait for that May wall to expire, and then we'll see what happens. Next shout to come through. Here we go. Coalescence, no more immortality field. Ashkane looking a little isolated. They're pumping healing into him double time. Speaking of which,
nah, Mora has some insane fucking healing, man.
To heal up his allies, a 1-for-1 so far. Losing Vips, bit of a tough break, but GamePro Dude just as impactful. Fantasy trying to push forward. They have to wait out Paper's window first. Get everyone topped off. Cup, sound barrier available. Not the same for Gemini.
Holy shit.
A little bit of an advantage. Malaysia throw down an ice wall just to give themselves a break.
It was a really good pressure valve that Paper was able to release there because you had to keep Ashkane alive, and he's going to be staying alive now. Gemini still off, and he's sound barrier. That will be good.
Okay, finally able to commit it. Cups 1 has expired, and that also means they can outlast Ashkane's ultimate here as he is in that Nemesis form. They get game.
Dude, there's a lot of ults going off, and the fight just started. Holy shit.
Starting to pull ahead in this fight. Vips load Paper down as well. First bit of push go to Malaysia.
It's 2 minutes and...
Dude, Malaysia's not fucking around anymore. Holy shit.
With the first fight. Can you believe that was actually just one fight? I mean, a 2-minute opening fight.
Flats tier, appreciate the massive 2 months, and Hendrik, appreciate the massive 3 months as well. Maticus, appreciate the massive 21 months.
barely able to get the sound barrier in time. I would have liked to have seen Singapore maybe get a couple of picks before Gemini could really come through in the sound barrier, but that sound barrier saves everybody. Yeah. Blizzard ends up coming through to finish. Right on the Numeros to start with.
Yeah, that's a bit of a tough break. It's probably going to switch momentum back the other way.
Stay mad, chat. Stay mad. I'm going to stay how I want, bro.
That's enough to finish him off. Very nicely done. And Fantasy tearing forward, finding Vital as well. Pulling a lot of weight here. I mean, forward is the direction that Jungle Queen wants to be moving. They find Vips. They keep J003 alive. Now Cup going in Sacrificial Lamb just to slow down the push tick there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're going to need to switch to Hanzo.
A really good start. The payload's actually
switch to Hanzo, go Reaper, go Brawl.
You're trying to run off and find kills, but
like,
you need to push.
I understand the pick potential, but like, you can't one-shot a Hanzo. I mean, you can't one-shot a Mei or a Reaper anymore. You're gonna do what, 240? I think is the max damage.
Very important.
I say just go Reaper, go into them. They did it on the first map, the Koth map, and they did really well.
Dragon Strike across to stop that further bit of follow-up. Not gonna find any members. Nice ice wall there to keep J003 isolated. GamePro trying to barrel forward. Double Death Blossom. I say double Death Blossom, rather just the one Death Blossom with a single kill. In my mind, I was like, well, this is loud and exciting. There's got to be two of these.
Vital's going to need a switch, man.
Very nicely.
Vital's going to need a switch.
I did.
They're getting rolled right now. Yep, there you go. See? Look at that chat. Read the script.
Okay, well, Malaysia got a spawn of Singapore surrounded. Cap finally coming through. 4 minutes, and it's now all Malaysia all day. Took them a while to win that opening neutral, but they got that, and the snowball as well. They're going to give up the pit. That's interesting. I think you just keep fighting there. Singapore already dropped to the low ground, taking an even fight on the low ground. You have Blizzard available. Why back out?
They're trying to get a little bit of a split with this ice wall. Not quite going to work. Everyone's up in this Blizzard. And there we go. Yeah, really.
Oh, I thought he went AFK. I was about to say, what? I thought he got frozen.
You could have heard that in the voice line, but either way, a very nice pickup for Malaysia.
I mean,
oh, this is looking bad for Singapore, man.
On top of the wall or over the wall or something, but using it around the wall, it's not going to reach Ash Kane. Malaysia will win that fight. I mean, they did lose a little bit of, I think, Payload presence there for that fight. Again, they probably pulled back a little too far, but enough to still win that fight. A little bit more distance.
And now Malaysia's so comfortable with these ultimates cycling through, rampage forward.
Nah,
easy pickups here.
I think Singapore lost after they lost the first point. They never got back. Malaysia got, what do you call it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
They got their old cycles, and they're just doing such a great job.
And Singapore
needs that momentum. They don't have it right now.
We're talking less than 5 minutes now. Half the map is gone. Well over 110.
Yeah, Singapore can
Payload stops.
So you can see 110, but as long as they don't see 9, they'll be just fine. Fantasy is down early. Not saved by that sound barrier, unfortunately. And now himself down as well. Singapore having to dig into it with the Coalescence and the Blizzard.
There you go.
The kills, though.
There you go.
Important there in Malaysia. Not investing too many.
There you go.
Quickly.
I mean, why even bother using... They invested too much. Why even bother sound barrier there? You have Fantasy down. If you weren't going to be able to save Fantasy, don't even play for the 4v5. Save ultimates only.
There's still a lot of time, chat. 4 minutes is a lot of time.
Just defend for 4 minutes.
But you're going from 0 meters to 113.
To counter the more important annihilation. Singapore's opportunity to find a little bit of distance. Everyone got the forward spawns on Malaysia, so early find the neutral.
You said to go all in on Singapore. I think Singapore's gonna win. I don't know.
It's gonna be a Blizzard, and Blizzards have been pretty reliable. Fight wins for Malaysia, dropping the Death Blossom straight on top of it. Once again, in Serio. Love hearing that twice. Malaysia, they will have to reset forwards now. Singapore get another shot at this defense. Malaysia get another shot at the cap out.
I mean, just shove the payload up towards the ramp, and I don't think you even bother going up the ramp into the defender spawn.
Play for time.
Obviously, get the cap for the forward spawns. Play for time here, kick the ball around, just pass it around, even kick it out of bounds.
There's no way I said Singapore was going to win, and they did so well, and now it doesn't look like... Nah, there's no way. There you go, Vital. Come on.
Getting that defense, then Malaysia getting a win straight back. Losing GamePro, dude, don't mean Singapore.
Yeah, teleport in there and just fucking rip it, bro. Rip it, rip it, rip it. Get the staggers. You don't really need to rip the ult, but the staggers.
Hasn't needed the Death Blossom yet. Looking to dust off even more members now. Numenor's in trouble. This is an absolutely clean sweep. Malaysia struggling to actually...
This is the comeback season, chat. This is the comeback season right here.
I mean, Malaysia needed to actually have a fight when Singapore running at them. They thought they could just rotate away, but unfortunately, A bunch of members called down mid-rotation. Singapore win that too cheaply. Every single fight that Singapore win, if you're Malaysia, you have to force them to ult here. Every fight needs to be expensive. Singapore threatening cap here now.
Yeah.
It's a long journey to a potential comeback, but if they can get this cap, you start thinking about it.
Double coalescence, fantasy, a little bit chilly there, goes down. There's going to be no rampage. A lot of ultimates.
Nice, chat. It's comeback fucking season. It's comeback season.
However, Singapore getting that
They
cap,
have no ults, though. They only have beat. They're going to probably use beat for Queen ult. But Malaysia's have Mail,
still not really in it because the second
have
half
their
is
tank ult,
really difficult for Singapore to push
have their
into.
own beat.
First half, getting the cap, challenging. Second half, this is straight up hell. So, Malaysia now fighting downhill, Singapore fighting uphill. Singapore.
They almost lost their.
There we go. Malaysia trying to get aggressive. Rampage forward. Nice catch. That sound barrier is in there, but that's a lot of anti-heal. GamePro do down early, but trade up a vital. You'll take that trade. They need to keep Jay alive. They have a Blizzard to be deployed. Ashkane popping the ultimate as well. And there we go, there's the Blizzard. That's going to collect Ashkane, that's going to collect Cup, and they just want to get the robot.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Singapore should have popped that fucking tank ult. What they should have done is just did a dry fight. Well, not really a dry fight, but just use beat. If they use beat and just beat, Malaysia would have used their beat, their tank ult, and their May ult. One ult for 3 ults would have been fucking huge.
No healing, no long-range healing, man. You have to stack pretty tight here. You're playing Lucio Mora on both sides.
Okay, this guy said the same thing that got him timed out in the first place by the bot. I don't know, man.
But I need a lot more support to get that off.
Ice wall there, isolates Vips, ends up paying off for them. I was surprised they actually managed to collect that one, but there we go. That keeps time lean for Singapore. That's what Malaysia need. Get the robot far away. This is currently playing it by the book.
Less than 1 minute left to go, and again, you don't have to push any further from here. Leave the payload around this ramp, allow Singapore to walk forward, and
nobody's timing you out. You're getting timed out by a bot because it thinks you're saying a bad word.
For Singapore now, 30 seconds left, and they haven't got a match distance. They have the robot well in
We have
their
a bot that takes away or bans people for no words. It thinks you're saying a no word.
Vitals down. Look at it, collect a few more. Don't even need to collect a few more. Just need to force Singapore out. 12 seconds.
Yeah, that's bad. Singapore took the L, chat. Oh my god. Bro, Singapore took the L.
To really kick sand in the face. Nope, they're going to back out. They know that it's not enough time on the clock. Now it's going to be Singapore in the overtime on the robot, trying desperately to get that full distance. Malaysia only need one fight.
And they can take that one.
There's no such thing as a caster curse, chat. I'm not a fucking curse. Everything I say is not wrong. It's not a caster's curse. Singapore's gonna come back right now.
Jay3 has nailed it with these blizzards consistently. They have been guaranteed fight winners for Malaysia, and now it's going to be a guaranteed match winner in that final fight as well. The overtime win burns out.
I am not that Pachamari. I am not gonna be having a caster curse. No, there's no such thing as a J3 curse. No.